about those areas that I think that might be of interest to you. So in the period that we are covering, we've done a number of routine work, such as we're ongoing in terms of turf maintenance, upgrading of walking tracks and making sure that those are safe and accessible for people to use. We've done some general maintenance around our public assets. We've done 3 monthly mulch mowing on the back paddocks and the lower gully. And we have resolved an issue to do with the padlock at the entrance gates. So we have a new padlock that's gone in there with a key code on it. That information has been shared with all relevant parties and seems to be working really well. With regards to our planned activities, there is some work that needs to be done in the car park and overflow car park here. There's a number of potholes that we're looking to get filled. At the time of writing this report, we were still trying to secure a contractor. I think we've now got into quotes, so I think we're getting much closer to securing a contractor for that work to get started. With regards to CCTV, we have investigated whether or not possible sites would be relevant here at Harding Park. And at this stage, we're not going ahead with it. There are a number of existing towers in this area, and we'll continue to work with DCDB with regards to the placement of CCT cameras. We've done some work around terracing the walking track, and that work is in progress, and that will very much support public safety. And we've got works planned to top some of the totara trees here that are obscuring the view. We have booked in with an arborist, and I'm just waiting to get a confirmation date as to when that can start. Obviously, with the very poor weather, that really plays havoc to a lot of the things that we have been trying to achieve. So we will get started on that fairly soon. Those items that are now completed, so we have finally got the Kaipara Library Storybook Walk across the line. We've got an area that they will be operating in. So the library team will be coming and basically placing parts of a book in each of the structures that you'll see taking place. And the purpose behind it is to encourage families to walk throughout the park and to read a story at the same time. And so our library team will continue to update those every couple of months. We've installed a picnic table for the mountain bike area up where their barbecue is. And we've cleared and removed some of the vegetation debris around in the stormwater pond. In terms of capital works, works that are planned, we've got a high priority with our maintenance contractor is around walkway improvements. So to install a new safety section on the boardwalk. Old Mount Wesley Cemetery, we're going to install a hand basin down there. We've also got another element to do with old Wesley Cemetery in our long-term plan. So we're going to do some upgrades to the sexton's shed and also the toilet that is down there. So that work will get underway fairly shortly. And works that have now been completed, we've done some remedial work or some renewal work to the toilet block up here, and we've just replaced very recently a picnic table that had reached its end of life, and you'll see the one that is slightly orange in colour with the other two just out there on the landing. You'll see in the financials that we didn't spend our allotted budget this year for the park, which was really unfortunate. And certainly something that we will make sure that we're not in a position where we are now going forward. I do have to say that while the funding was allocated to support key activities and projects, the actual expenditure was lower than was forecasted, and it was due to a multiple of reasons. In part, some of it was to do with timing. It was to do with also shortage of contractor availability, but certainly going forward, I'll make sure that there's much greater oversight. So that we are really planning early the work that needs to be done. We'll certainly be improving scheduling, and there will be monitoring to make sure that we do, in fact, ensure that we are spending monies that have been set aside with the purpose for Harding Park, so that it's done in a timely fashion. From a general business point of view, KDC has applied for what's called a Green Flag Award. That's an internationally recognised award for parks that qualify that are safe and inclusive for people in their community to access. So we're putting in an application for that. We should probably hear feedback in about October. The next component to this is that I'm expecting one of the judges to make contact with us, and they'll come up and look at the park, and they'll ask us. The feedback that I've received so far is very positive. I've certainly had very good feedback with regards to the reserve management plan, and they did make a comment that the reserve management plan for Harding Park is particularly good. So I will keep you posted on that, and with any luck, we will get an award in that space. And the only other thing that I wanted to bring to your attention is that we've been working very closely with NRC and with DOC. There is a high expectation that a highly pathogenic avian flu strand, H5N1, is likely to hit New Zealand shores. It's been circulating now for many years in different forms, but there is a particularly virulent strand that has been identified in Chile, and it is likely to make its way through the outer islands of the sub-Antarctic. It could come down to New Zealand and Australia. So we are making sure that we have operational plans in place to maintain members of the public's safety in case they come in contact with sick or ailing birds or birds that have passed away, but also our parks officers and also our contractors. So we're working very closely with all of our partners to make sure that we have very comprehensive plans in place. That was a high-level overview of that report.
Thank you very much. We'll go into questions. Thank you, Glenys, very much for this. And I've got a few questions. I see Councillor Nair has got his hand up, and I'll pass on to him after I've asked mine. And I've got a few other things I want to mention after I've gone through questions. The works planned, the CCTV, is there any of the different organisations here who have partial coverage? Have we established that?
Yes, there are.
So
Museum has very good coverage of this area all the way through, and they share that information directly with the police.
yes, I knew the answer to that question anyway, but I just wanted to make sure that it didn't come through that there was no CCTV coverage here. There is limited, but it's not run by the park itself.
That's right. And as far as I know, I think that the Machinery Club, they may also. I don't know that, and I can get that confirmed.
Right. The works planned, totara trees.
Mhm.
I think that might be wattles.
Okay.
These ones, I'm presuming they're these ones.
So do we know which ones we're talking about? Are they the ones within the park? The totaras within the park?
Understanding. So look, and again, you do know that Jessie Wardley is Parks Officer that's been associated with Harding Park for many years. She's now on maternity leave. So my understanding from the wording that Jessie has given me, it was about totara trees. But if we think it is otherwise, this is now the time to tell me, and I will make sure that the arborist
Yes, and we
does something appropriate.
and we probably need to clear this up. So there has been an understanding with the neighbours on the front here over the years that these wattles get trimmed.
Mhm.
It's not on Harding Park, it's on private land, but we do it as far as keeping them under control. I'm just wondering whether the trimming of the totara trees, that can be included as well. And we make approaches to those neighbours because it impedes the view. And we're about 5 to 7.5 years growth in those wattles, and they grow very quickly and of course are blocking the view, which is...
So you're saying to me that those wattles are sitting in private property, but...
It is correct, but there's been a previous agreement where we trim them back.
Right.
So I'm just wondering whether we look at when we've got the arborists up to look at the totaras,
Definitely.
we kill it all with one, yes.
Not a problem at all.
Okay, now the budget, we didn't see our year frame for it.
So it follows the financial year, so 1st of July through to 30th of June next year.
Okay, so it's too late, it's gone. Are there any carryover works?
There isn't, not for an OPEC.
Okay, is there a likelihood that our budget will be cut by the 75,000?
Oh, it hasn't.
Right, okay, so we've
It's
just,
really, look, and I just need to apologise. It's really unfortunate, and I will endeavour to make sure that this doesn't occur again. My understanding is that this was quite commonplace from speaking with Jesse, but like I said, I will make sure I'll have much greater oversight going forward. I will check in with the parks officer, and this is certainly no reflection on Jesse. Jesse's done a tremendously good job within this. And if you read the text within the report, you will see that there was a number of issues that really led us to this place. However, I am very mindful of it, and we will make sure that we aren't in a position where money that was notionally put forward to the maintenance of this park isn't used for this park within the timeframe that we have that money available.
yeah, I'd just like to point out and just to compliment what you've said there, Glenys, was we did push hard to get a bigger budget here, and it is shown in the way that the park has been cleaned up. It's a lot tidier and neater all around. It's just a shame we couldn't have got that done because there's a few little things we could have got done, but I'm sure we've gained some ground with it, and I'm hoping that everyone's in agreement there with this. Right, that is my questions, except for one thing I'm going to add later on, but I'll wait until that carries on, or a couple of things I've mentioned about the trees already. Councillor Nair, your questions, please, or question.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, a couple of questions. Glenys, first of all, thank you for taking ownership that this will not recur in terms of carry forwards. I have been approached twice on 2 slips in the park, and I would like those to be done on priority basis. And you can find it from JC. I think the one is going down on 30 zone out of the park, and another is close to cemetery. But I take what you say, and I think that's the positive part, that it will not happen again and the budget will be spent, because we can't justify an unspent budget for the next year. I think it takes a reflection on the committee. So my question is, obviously, whatever you say will be done. Will it be done? Yes, I hope so. Are you there?
Well, at this point, all I can do is give you my commitment because the year hasn't progressed, but through these meetings, I do plan to give you very clear indication of what we plan to spend money on and how that is progressing versus actual. So to be honest, that's all I can do at this point.
No,
I can't spend the money just yet. We do have an organised work plan, and we will work through that. I think I've given you some good insight as to what is on our horizon, and I'll continue to do that as we move forward.
No, that's great, Glenys. All I'm trying to say is those, if there are slips to be remediated, and especially when you're calling international judges to judge the park, there should not be anything negative in those reports. So if there's any work around the park in terms of, the remediation of the road or whatever, that should be done on priority. The waters probably can wait.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Nair. Mentioned 2 slips. Is anyone aware of these besides Councillor Nair?
I know of one.
You know of one? Thank you, Glenys.
Machinery Club can tell you that one, and the other guy can tell you about the cemetery. I can give the name and numbers to Glenys later on. Yeah, thank you.
That'd be very helpful.
So I take it from there, Glenys, you know about them, and
I know of one.
okay.
I know of one that's so I've made mention of that on page 5. And it's to do with the terracing of the walking track.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so there is definitely a known slip there, but if there are other slips that I'm not aware of, please, if you could pass that information on to me, then I will get onto our contractor and make sure that we remediate those if they are a public safety issue.
Yep. Thank you.
Awesome, Glenys. Thank you for that.
Just a quick round the table. Do we have anything from you, Henry?
Is this general?
Yes.
I think we've come a long way from, we started as a committee. We've got minutes. We've got financials. We've got something to work with. We've got, just a really good, team that's making some progress. Nice to know that we're getting you know, an organisation to come and check you know, the operations and facilities to see if we're in the mix for any awards. Yeah, and it's been a pleasure being on the committee. It's good to see our matua here too. It's always been an invite to that committee, and I mean it's strange saying that, but I'm just happy that you know we're trying to heal some of the past and progress. Kia ora.
You, Robert?
No. You satisfied? Yep.
Arthur, have you got anything to say? Look, there's a few I have to say what the rest, I think the park's gone under tremendous improvement, you know, from when we consider what it was 2.5 years ago, where we had that mulcher coming through and just breaking trees everywhere and wattles out of control and everything else. So it's come a long way and it's been a vast improvement. I don't think it's a criticism that we have not got through that budget. We've got to be a little bit wary of ourselves, not criticising that we haven't gone full expenditure. Our expenditure has been measured and coordinated without we're not just going through and spending things willy-nilly. In light of that, there's been a couple of other requests, a couple of other things that have come to light. I've already mentioned the trees and the wattles over there, but I'm pretty sure you're aware that there's been a bit of a publicity campaign on by a particular resident wanting to create a Rainbow Warrior structure there. Now, there's a long way to go in this, and no means is that article, is it supported by the museum or by this committee? I want to make that quite clear. We were always open to suggestions, but to think that we are going to be supporting that, I know that the museum has got some very serious reservations about what that proposal is. If you want to read back through last week's, not today's Lifestyle, but last week's Lifestyle, an article by Barry Jones, is it? He's been on that journey for some time now, so we need to consider that. Now, there's also another request that has come in from a member of the public, Sue Curtis from the DCDB, that she's been approached by somebody who wants to start up a dog park and is wondering if Harding Park would be considered a site. Now, once again, it's very much the same as there are implications with that. So we need to bear in mind that this will probably come up in the next meeting's agenda, which will be in 2 months' time, which doesn't exist, does it? We won't get it in before the election. So this, in of natural fact, will be the last meeting of this committee. We don't know what's going to happen after the 11th of October. We don't know even if we will still be here, and if we are, whether this committee will exist. That'll be up to the new regime. But we've got to be assured in ourselves that we have done the best we can over the last 2.5 years to get this up to scratch a lot better than what it was. And any time that we come in to something and we leave it in a better position, we've got to give ourselves a pat on the back. And good luck with your application for the green.
And if you like, through the chair, I will investigate what you do need to do for a dog park, so that we're in a good position if we do reconvene, that we can talk about that and what the ramifications of that might be.
That would be much appreciated, because I'm pretty sure it'll probably grab momentum at some stage. Whether this is the appropriate place for it or not, I'm not too sure.
It's quite good because they have coverage of many of the parks that we have in our district. So I will help to look and narrow down maybe some contenders.
Yes. And in light of that, we need to move and pass your report there, Dennis. So can I have a mover? Robert,
I'm happy to move.
How about you second? Because Robert's
That's
right in
fine.
front of you.
That's
Okay,
fine.
thank you. Ash, All those in favour? Aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried. And if there's nothing further from the, we will close the meeting. And I'll ask Patua to send us on our way. Thank you.
Okay, yep. Well, let us pray. E tatua tēnei mātua pona nei te whakawhitai kia koe, mo manakitanga kia mātua mai timatanga, tēnei hui tano, tēnei haura, koe klaiti tō tātou ariki. Āmene.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, councillor Mayor.
Cheers,
Thank
everybody, for
you.
the last 3 years.
Yeah.